From orbit, Oman looks like a hinge between two worlds. Its mountains lean toward the Gulf of Oman, its desert opens toward Arabia, and its southern coast faces the Indian Ocean. The country covers about 309,500 square kilometers, yet it's roughly 3 million people are concentrated in a few coastal plains, mountain valleys, and oasis towns. At the far north, the Musandam Peninsula is separated from the rest of Oman by the United Arab Emirates. At the far south, Dhofar follows a different climate rhythm altogether. This is not one landscape, but several sharply different countries folded into one. Welcome to Oman, seen from above. Welcome to Aerial Atlas. Begin in Musandam, where bare limestone mountains plunge directly into blue water. Long, narrow inlets called khors cut deep into the peninsula. They are often compared with fjords, although they were shaped by drowned valleys and tectonic geology rather than glaciers. Traditional dhows cross water framed by cliffs, while Khareef sits on a small coastal plain beneath walls of rock. The peninsula also overlooks the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most important maritime corridors. From the air, geography explains everything. Oman is not simply beside the sea. It occupies a lookout over the narrow entrance linking the Persian Gulf with the Gulf of Oman and the wider Indian Ocean. South of Musandam, the Hajar Mountains form the stony spine of northern Oman. Their uplifted rocks preserve a remarkable geological record, including pieces of ancient oceanic crust pushed onto land. Jebel Shams, often listed at just over 3,000 meters, is the country's highest summit. Nearby, the immense gorge of Wadi Gul is sometimes called Arabia's Grand Canyon. Villages cling to terraces where cooler air and carefully managed water support pomegranates, roses, apricots, and date palms. These mountains block moist air from the coast and cast a broad rain shadow toward the interior. They also divide daily life into distinct worlds: maritime Muscat, highland settlements, and oasis towns beyond the passes. A wadi can look like an empty road carved through stone until water arrives. In Oman, these valleys drain the mountains and can turn violent during intense rain. Flash floods are part of the same system that creates turquoise pools and green ribbons in places such as Wadi Shab, Wadi Tiwi, and Wadi Bani Khalid. Permanent water is rare, so every pool, seep, and shaded channel becomes an ecological refuge. From above, a wadi reveals the hidden circulation of an arid country. Pale gravel fans spread toward the sea, farms cluster where groundwater is reachable, and roads follow natural corridors through otherwise difficult terrain. Beauty here is inseparable from risk, and local weather warnings matter. Muscat is a capital shaped by topography. Instead of one continuous wall of skyscrapers, its neighborhoods stretch along a narrow coastal strip, repeatedly interrupted by dark mountain ridges. Old Muscat gathers around the ceremonial Al-Alam Palace and the twin forts of Al-Jalali and Al-Marani. Mutra wraps around a natural harbor, where a Cornish faces trading vessels, cruise ships, and the Old Souk. Farther west, modern districts, the airport, and the Sultan Qaboos Grand Mosque spread across wider ground. White and sand-colored buildings keep the skyline low, allowing mountains and minarets to remain visible. Seen from above, Muscat feels less like a city imposed on nature than a chain of urban rooms fitted between rock and water. Cross the mountains and the interior tells Oman's political and architectural history. Nizwa grew around an oasis and became a center of learning, trade, and the old imamate. Its famous fort is crowned by a massive circular tower built to withstand attack. Nearby Bahla is even older in atmosphere, a fortified oasis of mud brick, stone foundations, houses, palms, and defensive walls. UNESCO recognizes Bahla Fort as an outstanding medieval ensemble linked to the Banu Nebhen, who made the town their capital from the 12th to the 15th century. Across Oman, forts controlled routes, protected water, and announced authority. They were not isolated monuments. They were working anchors for markets, farms, mosques, and communities. Those communities depended on one of Oman's most ingenious technologies, the Falaj, plural Aflaj. Gravity carries water from springs or underground aquifers through tunnels and open channels toward farms and settlements. No pump is required. Instead, carefully measured shares of time distribute the flow among families and fields. 5 representative Aflaj are listed by UNESCO, but thousands exist across the country, and many still function. Their channels turn dry ground into date gardens and make permanent settlement possible beyond the coast. From the air, the result appears as geometry, a line of green palms, rectangular plots, and villages gathered around a thread of water. In Oman, irrigation is not just engineering. It is a social contract written into the landscape. Beyond the oases, the land opens into gravel plains and seas of sand. The Sharqiya Sands rise in long orange ridges, while the Rub al-Khali, the empty quarter, reaches into western Oman on a far greater scale. Desert life has never meant an empty life. Bedouin communities read wind, dunes, grazing, and wells with precision. Camels linked inland settlements with coastal ports, and seasonal movement matched scarce pasture. Today, paved roads, 4-wheel drive tracks, and desert camps cross the same terrain, but the fundamental limits remain visible from above. Settlements stay close to water, farms appear as improbable green circles, and dunes advance around them. The desert is not a blank background. It is an active landscape that organizes movement and survival. Then in the far south, the color changes. From roughly June to September, Dhofar catches the edge of the Indian Ocean monsoon. Local people call the season Khareef. Low cloud and drizzle wrap the escarpment behind Salalah, grass covers slopes, and seasonal waterfalls appear in valleys such as Wadi Darbat. The transformation is dramatic because it ends abruptly beyond the mountain rim. Green seaward slopes give way to dry interior plateau and the empty quarter. Coconut, banana, and papaya grow on the coastal plain, giving Salalah a look unlike northern Oman. This small monsoon zone is one of the country's great geographical surprises, created by the meeting of ocean winds, coastal mountains, and elevation. Dhofar is also the land of frankincense. Boswellia sacra trees survive on dry slopes and wadis, producing aromatic resin when their bark is carefully tapped. For centuries, this resin traveled from southern Arabia by caravan and shipped to temples, churches, markets, and royal courts across the ancient world. UNESCO Land of Frankincense links the trees of Wadi Dhaka with the caravan oasis of Shisar and the ports of Khor Rori and Al-Balid. Farther north, Omani sailors connected Arabia with India and East Africa. Their voyages shaped trade, language, food, and family ties across the Indian Ocean. Seen from the coast, Oman is not the edge of Arabia. It is one of the sea's historic crossroads. Modern Oman still depends heavily on hydrocarbons, but its economic map is broader than an oil field. Crude oil and natural gas support public revenue and exports, while ports at Sohar, Duqm, and Salalah connect shipping routes between Asia, Africa, and Europe. Duqm has grown around a deepwater port, refinery, industrial zone, and vast development corridor on the Arabian Sea. Oman Vision 2040 places greater emphasis on logistics, manufacturing, mining, tourism, fisheries, renewable energy, and digital industries. World Bank data put the country's 2024 economy at about $107 billion. The challenge is geographic as much as financial. Use a strategic coastline and large territory while protecting scarce water and creating work beyond oil. Oman's wild landscapes hold life adapted to extremes. Green turtles come ashore on the eastern beaches, especially around Ras Al Jins and Ras Al Had. Coral reefs and the Daymaniyat Islands support fish, rays, and nesting seabirds. In the interior, the Arabian oryx survives through conservation efforts, while the mountains shelter Arabian tar, a goat-like animal found only in this region. Along the coast, nutrient-rich waters can draw dolphins and whales, including a rare population of Arabian Sea humpback whales. Protection is difficult because habitats are scattered across deserts, islands, reefs, and rapidly developing coasts. Yet from above, their connection becomes clear. Mountains feed wadis, wadis feed estuaries, and coastal currents sustain marine life. Oman is a country of dramatic transitions. From the cliffs of Musandam to the terraces of the Hajar, from the white neighborhoods of Muscat to the mud brick walls of Bahla, from dune seas to Dhofar's green monsoon edge. Its geography explains its water systems, its forts, its ports, its trading history, and much of its future. The most important lines are not political borders but routes. A Aflaj channel, a mountain pass, a Dhofar track across the Indian Ocean, and a modern shipping lane through Hormuz. Seen from above, the apparent emptiness fills with structure. This was Oman, the land between mountains, desert, and sea. Subscribe to Aerial Atlas, where every week we explore another country from above.